The false victory, 770 words. The Galactic Council sits in their grand chamber on the space station Nexus Prime. For 300 years, they have ruled over 47 star systems with an iron fist. The Council believes they are the most advanced beings in the galaxy. Their fleets patrol the outer rim, keeping primitive species in line. Admiral Vex leads the Council's most feared battle group. His ships are massive, gleaming with energy shields and plasma cannons. Today, they receive reports of a new species discovered on the edge of known space. These creatures call themselves humans and live on a small blue planet called Earth. The Council's scouts return with data. Humans use primitive chemical rockets and nuclear weapons. They fight among themselves with simple metal projectiles. Their largest ships barely reach their own moon. The Council members laugh at the readings. These humans are thousands of years behind. Council technology. Commander Rex commands the forward fleet. He volunteers to handle this minor threat. "Give me 3 ships," he tells the Council. "I will bring their leaders back in chains within 1 solar cycle." The Council approves his mission with barely a thought. They have conquered dozens of primitive worlds before. The human delegates arrive at the meeting point in a crude metal vessel. Captain Tom leads the diplomatic mission along with Dr. Lisa and Engineer Mark. Their ship looks ancient compared to the sleek Council vessels. Its hull shows wear from space travel. Simple radio waves carry their communications instead of quantum links. Rex opens communications with the humans. He speaks in their primitive language, which his computers easily decoded. "Surrender your world to the Galactic Council," he demands. "Submit to our rule, and your people will serve as workers in our empire." Captain Tom listens calmly to the demands. The humans had expected this moment for decades. Their deep space probes had detected the Council's presence years ago. Earth's governments had prepared for this day, though few knew the true extent of their preparations. "We need time to consider your offer," Tom replies diplomatically. "Our leaders must discuss this decision." Rex laughs at the humans' politeness. Most primitive species either attack immediately or surrender in terror. These humans seem almost resigned. Rex grants them 7 Earth days to decide. He believes this is generous. His 3 ships position themselves near Earth's solar system, watching the small planet with amusement. The humans' military forces seem pitiful. A few hundred nuclear missiles, some space stations, and basic fighter craft. The Council receives regular updates from Rex's fleet. They watch as human ships move around their system, apparently preparing defenses. The activity seems desperate and unorganized. Small transport vessels fly between planets, carrying supplies and personnel. The Council's analysts predict complete surrender within days. Meanwhile, deep in Earth's oceans and hidden in asteroid fields, ancient systems wake up. Humanity's true military assets begin to move. These are not the obvious ships that fly openly through space. These are the weapons they built in secret, using technology they reverse-engineered from crashed alien vessels decades ago. The human governments had learned from history. They knew that any advanced alien race would underestimate them based on their visible technology. So they built 2 militaries, one that looked primitive and obvious, and another that remained completely hidden until needed. Admiral Vex reviews the intelligence reports from his command ship. The humans have exactly what the scouts predicted: chemical rockets, nuclear weapons, and simple metal ships. Nothing in their radio transmissions suggests any hidden technology. Their computer networks use basic encryption that Council systems crack easily. "This will be over quickly," Vex tells his staff. "These humans lack even basic energy shields. Our plasma cannons will cut through their ships like paper." His officers agree. They have seen this pattern many times before. Primitive species always follow the same technology development path. Rex grows impatient as the deadline approaches. His sensors detect increased human activity, but nothing threatening. More of their crewed ships launch from the planet's surface. They seem to be evacuating civilians or moving supplies. Standard behavior for a species about to surrender. Captain Tom sends one final message to Rex's fleet. "We have considered your offer carefully," he says. "Our answer is no. Earth will remain free." Rex expected this response. Most primitive species try some token resistance before accepting their fate. "So be it," Rex broadcasts back. "You have chosen destruction over service. Our weapons will reduce your cities to ash. Your survivors will beg to serve us." He gives the order to advance. His 3 ships move toward Earth, charging their main weapons. The Council watches through long-range sensors, expecting to see human ships destroyed within hours. They prepare celebration ceremonies for another successful conquest. None of them notice the massive energy signatures beginning to emerge from empty space around Earth's star system. Humanity's true warship powers up its main engines for the first time in 50 years. Rex's 3 ships advance toward Earth with confidence. Their plasma cannons charge with deadly energy. The human planet grows larger on their screens, showing blue oceans and white clouds. It looks peaceful and defenseless. Rex prepares to demonstrate the Council's power to these primitive beings. The first human ships move to intercept them. These vessels match the intelligence reports perfectly. Metal hulls, chemical thrusters, and simple weapon systems. Rex counts 12 human ships approaching his position. Each one is barely 1/10 the size of his smallest vessel. "Open fire," Rex commands. "Destroy half of them. Let the survivors carry word of our strength back to their leaders." Blue plasma beams lance out from his ships. The energy weapons streak across space toward the human vessels. The plasma hits the first human ship directly. Rex expects to see it vaporize instantly. Instead, strange ripples appear around the vessel. The plasma beam bends and scatters harmlessly into space. The human ship continues its approach without any visible damage. What happened? Rex demands from his weapons officer. The alien checks his systems twice before responding. "Sir, our plasma cannon fired correctly, but something deflected the beam away from the target." Rex stares at his screen in confusion. No primitive species has ever shown deflector technology. The human ships spread out in attack formation. They launch what appear to be simple nuclear missiles. Rex's tactical display shows dozens of primitive warheads approaching his fleet. He activates his energy shields without concern. Council shields can easily stop nuclear explosions, but as the missiles get closer, they begin to change. Their metal casings split open like flower petals. Strange crystalline objects emerge from inside each warhead. These crystals pulse with an energy signature that Rex's computers cannot identify. The first crystal touches Rex's shield and passes through it like it doesn't exist. The crystal impacts his ship's hull and begins to drill through the armor plating. Alarms sound throughout the vessel as more crystals penetrate their defenses. Rex's ship shudders under the assault. Shields are useless against these weapons, his defense officer reports in panic. They're cutting through our hull in multiple locations. Rex cannot understand what is happening. These are supposed to be primitive nuclear missiles, not advanced. Penetrating weapons. Admiral Vex receives Rex's distress signal from across the star system. The transmission is garbled and filled with static. Under attack. Unknown weapons. Shields failing. Vex stares at the message in disbelief. 3 council ships should easily defeat the entire human military. Vex orders his main battle fleet to accelerate toward Earth. His 50 ships represent the most powerful force in this sector of the galaxy. Their combined firepower could destroy a small moon. Whatever trick the humans are using will not work against his full fleet. as Vex's ships approach. More human vessels appear on their sensors. But these new ships are different from the crude metal vessels they observed before. These ships emerge from what appeared to be empty space, as if they were invisible until now. The new human ships are massive. Each one rivals the size of Vex's flagship. Their hulls are made from some dark material that absorbs sensor beams. Strange energy patterns flow across their surfaces like living things. These are not the primitive vessels from the intelligence reports. Captain Tom watches the battle from the bridge of humanity's true flagship, the Defiance. This ship had been hidden in a fold of space-time for 50 years, waiting for this moment. Around him, dozens of similar vessels decloak and take position in Earth's defense fleet. All ships report ready, his tactical officer announces. The officer is not human, but rather one of several alien refugees who had fled Council oppression decades ago. They had helped humanity develop these advanced technologies in secret. The human fleet had been built using a combination of reverse-engineered alien technology and human innovation. When the first alien scout ship crashed on Earth 80 years ago, human scientists learned that faster-than-light travel was possible. They also learned that a vast galactic empire existed beyond their solar system. Humanity's leaders made a crucial decision. They would continue developing their obvious military technology at a normal pace. But in secret, they would pour resources into creating a hidden fleet using alien principles. The fake primitive fleet would serve as a decoy while the real ships remained hidden. Dr. Lisa had led the scientific team that cracked alien energy manipulation. Engineer Mark had designed the cloaking systems that kept their ships invisible. Captain Tom had trained the secret fleet's crews for decades, preparing for this exact scenario. Rex's surviving ship tries to retreat, but human vessels surround his position. His plasma weapons are useless against their deflector fields. His shields cannot stop their drilling weapons. For the first time in his career, Rex faces an enemy with superior technology. "This is impossible," he broadcasts to Admiral Vex. "These humans have weapons beyond our understanding. They are not primitive at all." Rex's transmission cuts off. As his ship's main reactor fails under the crystal weapon assault, Vex stares at his tactical display in growing horror. The human fleet continues to grow as more ships decloak around Earth's solar system. Each vessel represents technology that should not exist in this part of the galaxy. Admiral Vex watches his tactical display with growing fear. The human fleet now numbers over 200 ships, each one larger and more advanced than anything in Council records. Their weapons cut through his ship's defenses like they are made of paper. In 20 minutes of battle, he has lost 15 vessels. Send an emergency signal to the Galactic Council. Vex orders his communications officer. Tell them we need immediate reinforcements. These humans possess technology beyond our current understanding. The message races across space toward Nexus Prime, carrying news that will shake the Council's foundations. The Council receives Vex's transmission during their regular session. High Counselor Kane reads the report aloud to the assembled members. "Impossible," declares Counselor Vale. "Our scouts confirmed these humans are primitive. They barely reached their own moon 50 years ago. But the battle data streaming from Vex's fleet tells a different story. Human ships move through space using some form of instant teleportation. Their weapons ignore energy shields completely. Most disturbing of all, they seem to predict Council movements before they happen. Captain Tom studies the holographic battle display on the Defiance's bridge. The Council ships move in predictable patterns, following tactics that humanity had observed and analyzed for decades. Every alien species the Council conquered had faced these same strategies. "They're trying to surround us," Tom tells his crew. Standard Council Tactic Number 7. All ships execute counter-pattern Delta. The human fleet responds instantly, breaking formation and repositioning before the Council. Ships can complete their maneuver. The human advantage comes from more than just superior technology. They had studied every Council battle for the past 50 years through hidden observation posts. They knew how Council admirals thought, how their ships moved, and what tactics they would use in every situation. Vex realizes his standard approaches are failing completely. Every time he tries a new strategy, the humans counter it before he can execute properly. His ships cannot get close enough to use their superior numbers. The human vessels maintain perfect distance while their weapons tear his fleet apart. Fall back to defensive positions, Vex commands. Form a protective sphere around the command ship. His remaining 35 ships pull together, creating overlapping fields of fire. This formation had never failed against primitive species. The human fleet responds by doing something no species had ever attempted. Instead of attacking the defensive formation directly, they begin targeting the space around it. Strange devices emerge from their ships and float toward the Council. Formation. These devices activate when they reach optimal position. Suddenly, the space around Vex's ships begins to twist and bend. Gravity wells appear from nowhere, pulling his vessels in different directions. His defensive formation breaks apart as ships struggle against forces they cannot understand. What are they doing to space itself? Vex's science officer reports in panic. They're manipulating gravity and time around our position. Our engines cannot compensate for these distortions. Several Council ships collide as the artificial gravity fields drag them off course. On Nexus Prime, the Galactic Council watches the battle through long-range sensors. The impossible is happening before their eyes. A primitive species is defeating their most advanced battle fleet using weapons that should not exist. High Counselor Kane stands before the Great Assembly. "Prepare the Grand Fleet," he announces. "Send word to all sectors. Every available ship must converge on the human system immediately." The Council's emergency powers activate for the first time in 2 centuries. The Grand Fleet represents the Council's ultimate military power. 5,000 ships from across the galaxy begin moving toward Earth. Massive dreadnoughts that can destroy planets lead formations of heavy cruisers. This fleet has crushed entire civilizations that dared resist Council rule. But as the Grand Fleet mobilizes, human intelligence networks activate across the galaxy. The same refugees who helped develop Earth's technology now serve as spies in Council territory. They report the fleet's movements back to Earth using quantum communication. Systems. Captain Tom receives these reports on the Defiance's bridge. "They're sending everything they have," Dr. Lisa tells him. 5,000 ships, including their planet-killer dreadnoughts. The bridge crew falls silent at the news. Even with their advanced technology, humanity cannot fight odds of 25-1. "Then we don't fight them ship to ship," Tom replies calmly. "We fight them the human way." He activates a special communication channel that connects him to secret bases throughout human space. Bases that have remained hidden even deeper than the fleet itself. Earth's moon opens like a flower. The artificial surface splits apart to reveal massive construction facilities underneath. Similar bases activate on Mars, in the asteroid belt, and around Jupiter's moons. Humanity had not just built a hidden fleet. They had built a hidden industrial complex. Thousands of automated factories begin producing new ships at incredible speed. Human manufacturing technology, enhanced with alien principles, can build vessels in hours instead of years. The industrial capacity that once produced millions of cars and planes now turns to war production. Watches in horror as new human ships appear on his sensors every few minutes. The fleet that was destroying his forces is growing larger even. As they fight, "How many ships do they have?" he asks his tactical officer. "Unknown, sir," comes the reply. New vessels keep appearing. At this rate, they'll outnumber the Grand Fleet before it arrives. Asterisk, the Galactic Council's Grand Fleet arrives at the edge of Earth's solar system like a dark storm cloud. 5,000 ships spread across space in perfect formation. They're combined. Mass blocks out distant stars. Admiral Kane himself leads this ultimate display of council power from his flagship, the Eternal Dominion. Kane surveys the human fleet through his viewscreen. Intelligence reports counted 200 human vessels 3 days ago. Now his sensors detect over 800 ships. Somehow these primitive beings are building warships faster than his fleet can travel. Impossible numbers, Kane mutters to his staff. No species can construct vessels this quickly. Our shipyards take years to build a single cruiser. His tactical officer confirms the readings. Human industrial capacity exceeds anything in council records by a factor of 50. Captain. Tom stands on the Defiance's bridge, watching the massive alien fleet take position. The Grand Fleet's formation stretches across millions of kilometers. Each enemy dreadnought carries enough firepower to level a continent. Humanity faces the combined military might of 47 star systems. All human ships report ready. His communications officer announces, the hidden factories have produced 1,200 vessels in just 3 days. Each ship carries weapons and defenses based on principles the Council has never encountered. Kane opens a communication channel to the human fleet. His image appears on screens throughout the human vessels. The alien leader's face shows both anger and confusion. I am Admiral Kane of the Galactic Council. Your resistance ends now. Surrender immediately or face complete annihilation. Tom responds from the Defiance's bridge. This is Captain Tom of the Human Defense Fleet. We reject your demand. Earth will remain free, and we will help free every world you have conquered. Kane's expression changes to one of shocked disbelief. You? Dare threaten the Council? Kane replies. We have ruled this galaxy for 3 centuries. Your entire species will be extinct within the hour. He cuts the communication and turns to his fleet commanders. Begin the attack. Show no mercy. The Grand Fleet advances in a massive wall of ships. Their plasma cannons charge with deadly energy. Missile ports open across thousands of hulls. The combined firepower preparing to unleash could destroy entire planets. Kane expects to see human resistance crumble within minutes. Human ships respond by doing something the Council has never seen. Instead of forming defensive lines or attack formations, they scatter in all directions. Each vessel moves independently, following no apparent pattern. The organized human fleet dissolves into chaos. They're running in panic, Kane's tactical officer reports. Human ships are fleeing in random directions. Kane smiles with satisfaction. Even with advanced technology, primitive minds cannot handle the sight of overwhelming force, but the human ships are not fleeing. They are positioning themselves according to a strategy that no centralized military force could execute. Each captain has complete authority to choose their own targets and methods. This distributed command structure confuses the Council's rigid hierarchy. The first human attacks come from unexpected directions. Ships that appeared to be fleeing suddenly reverse course and strike Council vessels from behind. Other human ships attack from above and below, ignoring the flat plain where most space battles occur. Kane watches his formation break apart under the unconventional assault. Human vessels phase in and out of normal space, appearing inside his defensive perimeters. Their weapons target his ship's weak points with surgical precision. How do they know our vulnerabilities? He demands that the answer lies in humanity's 50-year intelligence operation. Every crashed Council ship, every captured weapon, and every rescued prisoner had provided data. Human scientists had mapped every weakness in Council technology. They knew exactly where to strike for maximum damage. Dr. Lisa coordinates the scientific aspects of the battle from Earth's command center. Her teams have developed weapons specifically designed to exploit Council weaknesses. Phase disruptors are working perfectly, she reports to Tom. Their shield generators cannot adapt to our frequency shifts. Human industrial bases continue, producing new ships throughout the battle. Automated systems work at maximum capacity, replacing losses faster than the Council can inflict them. The human fleet actually grows larger as the fight continues. Kane realizes his superior numbers mean nothing if human ships keep multiplying. Target their production facilities, he orders. Destroy the sources of their ships. Council dreadnoughts turn their planet-killer weapons toward Earth's moon and Mars. The massive energy beams streak toward human industrial bases. But as they approach their targets, the beams encounter something unexpected. Massive shield generators activate around each facility. These shields use the same technology that protects human ships, but scaled up to planetary size. The Council's most powerful weapons splash harmlessly against human defenses. Worse, the energy from the attacks is absorbed and redirected back at the attacking ships. Several Council dreadnoughts find themselves under fire from their own weapons. This is not possible, Kane says in growing desperation. No species has ever resisted the Grand Fleet. How are these humans doing this? His ship shudders under. Attack from 3 human vessels that appeared from nowhere. Captain Tom opens communications one final time. Admiral Kane, this is your last chance. Order your fleet to surrender. We have no desire to destroy you, but we will defend ourselves and liberate the worlds you oppress. Kane stares at the tactical display, showing his fleet in chaos. In 1 hour of battle, he has lost over 1,000 ships, while human numbers continue to grow. Admiral Kane stares at his tactical display in disbelief. The Grand Fleet that once numbered 5,000 ships has been reduced to fewer than 2,000 in just 2 hours of battle. Human vessels continue to multiply, now numbering over 1,500 and growing every minute. Sir, we are receiving surrender requests from multiple ships, his communications officer reports. The captains of the Thunderwing and Star Crusher are asking permission to withdraw from battle. Kane has never heard such words from Council commanders before. The human fleet's unconventional tactics have shattered the Council's military doctrine. Ships appear and disappear at will. Their weapons ignore all known defenses. Worst of all, they fight with a coordination that seems impossible without central command. Each human captain acts independently, yet perfectly supports the others. Captain Tom watches the Council fleet's formation collapse from the Defiance's bridge. They're breaking apart, his tactical officer reports. Multiple Council ships are attempting to flee the battle zone. Tom nods grimly. The Council's illusion of invincibility is crumbling before their eyes. But Tom takes no pleasure in the destruction. Each destroyed ship represents hundreds of alien lives lost. Signal all human vessels, he orders. Any Council ship that powers down weapons and requests safe passage will be allowed to leave. We fight for freedom, not revenge. The message spreads through both fleets instantly. Several Council ships immediately shut down their weapon systems and broadcast surrender signals. Their crews have seen enough to know that continued resistance means certain death. Kane receives reports of mass desertions throughout his fleet. Ships that have served the Council for centuries are abandoning the battle. Cowards, he snarls at his bridge crew. The Council has ruled this galaxy for 300 years. We will not be defeated by primitives. He activates his ship's ultimate weapon system. The Eternal Dominion carries a reality-shearing cannon capable of tearing holes in space itself. This weapon has destroyed entire star systems that dared rebel. against Council rule. Kane prepares to use it against Earth itself. Target the human homeworld, Kane commands. If we cannot defeat their fleet, we will destroy their planet. Without Earth, their resistance will collapse. The massive weapon begins charging, drawing power from the ship's entire reactor core. But humanity's intelligence network detects the weapon's activation immediately. Dr. Lisa's voice crackles over the communication system from Earth's command center. Tom, they're charging a planet-killer weapon. We have maybe 3 minutes before they can fire. Captain Tom makes a decision that will change galactic history. All ships converge on the Eternal Dominion. Maximum attack pattern. We end this now. The entire human fleet turns toward Kane's flagship like a pack of wolves focusing on their prey. Kane watches 1,500 human ships accelerate toward his position. Their combined firepower focuses on his vessel's shields. The reality shearing. Cannon continues charging, but his defenses begin failing under the massive assault. 2 minutes to firing, his weapons officer reports. Human ships begin ramming attacks against the Eternal Dominion's hull. Their advanced shields allow them to survive the impacts while inflicting massive damage. Kane's ship shudders and groans under the unprecedented assault. Hull breaches appear across multiple decks. Sir, structural integrity is failing. His engineering officer reports in panic. We cannot maintain the weapon charge much longer. Kane screams orders at his crew, demanding they continue the firing sequence even as his ship dies around him. With 30 seconds left on the weapon's charge cycle, the Eternal Dominion's main reactor goes critical. The ship that symbolized Council power for 2 centuries explodes in a brilliant flash of light. Kane's final transmission is a scream of rage and disbelief. The destruction of the Council's flagship sends shockwaves through the remaining alien forces. Ships that were still fighting immediately cease fire and request safe passage. The Grand Fleet, once the terror of the galaxy, surrenders completely within minutes. Captain Tom broadcasts to the surviving Council ships, "This war is over. Return to your home systems and tell your people what happened here. The age of Council. Tyranny has ended. Any world that wishes freedom will have humanity's support." Over the following months, the Galactic Council's empire dissolves. 47 star systems declare independence with humanity's backing. The Council's remaining leadership tries to maintain control, but their military power is broken beyond repair. Earth becomes the center of a new galactic alliance based on cooperation rather than conquest. Human technology and industrial capacity help former Council worlds build their own defenses. The galaxy enters an age of unprecedented peace and prosperity. Dr. Lisa publishes the complete record of humanity's preparation and victory. Her work becomes required reading on 1,000 worlds. The story of how Earth's people spent 80 years preparing to defend their freedom inspires countless species. Years later, Captain Tom retires to a small farm on Earth. He often looks up at the stars, knowing that human ships patrol space as protectors rather than conquerors. The illusion of invincible power had crumbled when humanity refused to submit. The galaxy learned a lesson that day. Underestimate humanity at your peril. The end asterisk.